Greetings, people of Earth. My name is Rob Whelan. My pronouns are he, him. I am an author, game designer, and professional nerd. Tonight, I'm the host of Theater of the Mind Players, your friendly local actual play show.
Flaps!
No! We are playing Dragonbane from Free League Publishing. Dragonbane is a new version of a classic Swedish role-playing game that was recently published a couple of years ago to let players experience I believe they call it mirth and mayhem role-playing. We're going to get into the adventure here fairly quickly, but if you want to know what our character development process was, we have that for you as a Session 0 on our Patreon. So if you become a friend of Pat Rayon, you can see us make these characters. Right now, what I want to do is to go around the table and have everybody introduce themselves, who your character is, and what class and heritage you've chosen to play here for our adventures. Let's start with our first mind player.
Hello. My name is Ethan Eichstedt Anderson, he, him, and I am playing William Featherface V. He is a mallard merchant.
I chose Ethan because I wanted the maximum amount of time that he would have with that on his face.
Amazing.
Let's move on to our next mind player.
Hi there, my name is Jordan Fishburne, she, her, and I am playing Begga Shadowleaf, an elven knight.
Begga?
She does not have a prop to attach to her face.
You just got...
Yes.
Can we call you Lou?
Beggaloo?
No, Lou Begga.
Oh my god.
You can.
Only you.
Only you, William.
Only you.
Let's move on to our next
Put a
mind
quarter in him
player.
today. Okay. Hi, my name is Sarah Babe, she, they, and I am playing Titania Stormblast. She is a wolfkin mage with elementalism.
And last but not least, our final mind player of the evening.
Hi, my name is Tawny P. Thompson, she, hers, and y'all can call me Bug. I'm playing a lizard people bard.
Now, these folks have come together to explore an area called the Misty Vale. It is an area on the edges of civilization in a classic fantasy type world. More specifically, they are here to escort dear Featherface to the village of Outskirts, which is the main piece of civilization in the Misty Vale. But before that, you are about half a day's ride away via the wagon that you are bringing, which is jammed full of various trade goods and things like that from a giant mallard trade city. You decided to pull off to the side of the road, camp here, and then you will be able to ride into Outskirt in the late morning. What we're going to do to help everybody start to build their characters is we're going to use the Ultimate RPG Campfire card deck. This is from James D'Amato and Adams Media. This is just a cool thing. Like, we did not get one of these from the company. How it works is that during downtime events, most of the time in fantasy games, when you have downtime or you camp, it's basically just, okay, I got all my spells back, I got all my hit points back, yada, 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 bing, bang, boom. All right, let's get back to the dungeon crawl. This deck allows a little bit of character building, and I thought that it would be excellent for us to use during our You Need a Straw.
I got it.
All right. I'm just afraid we're gonna have an accident.
For
So,
podcast listeners, Ethan has a duck bill on his nose.
how is this not just going to be the picture of the podcast, like, of the entire run of the show? It's just
For the rest of the existence of the
Yeah.
show.
of the show. Yeah, every you're gonna have to wear that in every game from now on.
Probably in about 10 minutes I'll take it off and my nose is going to be bright red with a line around it.
I need to get you looser elastic before next session.
I believe it's made for a child.
What we're going to do as our adventurers build their campfire here is each of you is going to choose 2 cards. One of them is going to be a question that you ask yourself or your character. The other one is one that you're going to ask one of the other members of the group. The categories are your past, your companions, your world, hypotheticals, your dreams, or your present. So choose from those categories, and I will hand you the card.
I'll take your past.
Okay, you taking 2 of those or 1 of those?
1.
All right, what's
For
the other one you
now.
want to take?
Hypotheticals.
World?
1 world, and the other one?
Companion.
I will take presents. Present,
Okay.
because I love presents. And dream.
World and past.
Once you've considered which ones you want to ask, Tawny seems cocked and ready to fire here. So are you asking this of yourself or are you asking this of somebody?
Now, Featherface, if you had to spend a massive fortune in 1 week, but you only had temporary experiences and consumable goods you could spend it on, how'd you do it?
Describe your character too.
Yeah, I have decided to base Bug on the purple anole, which are native to Ethiopia, and they are really cute. They kind of look like a leopard gecko, but maybe a little longer. They usually range from like turquoise to lime green to the browns because they have camouflaging abilities. They eat bugs, and one of the reason they're called purple anoles is because when they are preserved in alcohol, they turn this like violently violet shade. Yeah, she's really cute.
I'm going to go with the largest buffet of obscure food that I could ever come across.
That's fair.
That sounds delicious. Absolutely.
What is your favorite food?
Bread.
I honestly think it has to be a nice focaccia.
Ooh, yeah.
I think I would like to ask you,
Mega.
what place would you most like to return to? What draws you back and why?
I think Becca is kind of setting up her like campsite, and she's kind of like a little bad at it still. So she's just like,
Is this like the first time she's gotten her like kit out and she still hasn't quite figured it out yet?
I've done it. So Becca's done it a couple times, but like usually somebody takes pity on her and helps her a little bit. But this time she was like, I got it. I'm going to do it myself. And she put in the pegs at the wrong angle into the ground. So it's going to like fall down soon, but she's trying. She's trying to do it. Titania, I just miss home so much already. I don't know how my sister was able to just go off for so long, but it's, you know, the trees this time of year are beautiful. They're turning golden during the day, and then at night they reflect the moonlight. It's the best place on earth, I think. And
So what draws you back there?
the beauty and the way that it beholds nature. You know, this world is beautiful everywhere that we go, but it doesn't glow like it does at home.
It's not home.
Where's the first place that when you come back to the Shimmerwood, where's the first place that you go to? Is there like a specific like tree? Is there like a lake? Is that what is the first thing that you're like, I got to do this first? Like I know, like when I used to live in Boston, I would come home and immediately get a burrito from my favorite burrito place. Like, what is that for you in the Shimmerwood?
On the road, once Becca can see the welcome sign ish thing, is the equivalent in Elven, which is like a tree that they slightly carved to look special.
Is it I like the idea that it's not. Well, actually, let me run this by you. Instead of like a sign that says like "Welcome to the Shimmerwood," it's more like a bonsai tree where they've trimmed it in a very specific like, and every elf settlement has their own like
Rune.
Like way that it's shaped.
Yeah.
It's like own like distinct creation so that they can recreate it if they need to.
Mhm.
I absolutely agree. I don't know if it's like quite as fluffy as a bonsai, but like it depends on what tree is available in the area. This one's like a little leafier. Like some areas have a more needly tree, so ours is just like a little bit broadleaf-ier than normal. But as soon as Becca can see that on the road home, she cuts to the side and goes around until she gets to her glade that she likes to go visit. It has a like clear creek that runs through it, and the grass is soft, and as soon as you lay down, it just smells so welcoming and like home that she just like rolls off of whatever horse or whatever cart that she has with her and just falls directly into the grass and just lays there until she gets the energy back up to finish the rest of the way home.
That's adorable. Real life Sarah's jealous because I'm allergic to grass.
Just need a nylon suit, right?
I do also like the fact that, does Featherface occasionally gump out some bread facts?
All food facts. Yeah.
Is that what is? I don't think we discussed this in Zero. Like, are you establishing a trade route? Or are you starting a business in Outskirt?
I am an old mallard.
Oh my god.
So at this point, I feel as if, not that I'm fully established, but I'm more of the wandering merchant that tries to go for the weird shit.
So just keeping pace in a
Yeah.
regular route.
I see you.
Migratory?
Yeah.
I'll ask, hey Bug, and I sidle up to you. And at this point, I should probably describe how Becca looks. Dark, long hair, tan skin, and dark eyes that kind of like shift. Like sometimes they're a dark gray, sometimes you see bits of like blue or brown in them. And it's almost like fully reflecting the world around rather than any inherent color that she has. And she has like a chainmail shirt that is like super bright, like highly polished. Same with like all of her gear and her equipment. It's like sparkling because she's just so obsessed with keeping it neat and tidy. And it really makes like her hair and everything else just look darker because of how bright that is. She sidles up to Bug, is like looking at everybody, and she's like, who do you think out of our group here is gonna live the longest out of all of us? The toughest, wiliest.
Now, you might think that it'd be you, right? Elfkin, right? But let me just be very clear that we lizard people do tend to be quite long-lived, and my great-granny, she did live to be twice as old as any other lizard folk ever did. And her great-granny, same thing. So we've got a long line of very long-lived lizard women. And I, following in that path.
By the way, Long Lived Lizard Woman should be the name of your Bug album.
Yes.
Long-lived lizard women.
Should be ladies, though.
Yeah.
Long-lived lizard ladies. Long-live the lizard ladies.
Yeah.
Band name, you can't have it.
TM.
And so I think in the course of things, it's probably going to be me. I'm pretty wily. I'm real smart. Don't tell anybody. But just saying, probably me.
Well, make sure to stick close to me then, so I can make doubly sure that you live the longest, okay?
You can try, but you can try.
So,
To help you? What?
Just saying, I ain't need much help.
how often do you bring up your great grannies in the stories that you?
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Is it always the same one, or is it? Oh no, my great granny.
Oh, there's no way it's the same one. I'll tell one story and the next day you're like, didn't you just say that your great granny did this? Oh, no, yeah, she did that too. See.
It's all one
Yeah.
mythology.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. You never say their name. It's always great.
Yes. Yeah. There's great granny.
Mm-hmm.
Titania,
Yes.
apart from wealth and renown, what satisfaction have you found in being in the life of an adventurer?
Knowledge. I learn more about nature and the elements every day, which I suppose that adds to power. But it's the knowledge. The more I can collect, the more I can do. Titania looks very similar to an eastern wolf, which is a little bit smaller, a little bit like lankier looking. You know, like how cats sometimes have that fluffy face? It's a little bit of like a fluffy face there.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. It's really freaking
More like a fox.
Almost? Yeah, almost.
Like a washburn?
You know what? Sorta.
I mean, it's about damn time he's on this show.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm Washburn. No. A little bit of red, little bit of kind of almost a merle, if you will. But there is a very distinct line of black that looks like it kind of branches out like I was struck by lightning, which comes from the storm blessed. But yeah, so she's got like what ears? Well, she's just kind of down because she's just chilling.
What does she wear? Does she wear anything?
She wears enough to not be offensive or naked, but probably just a very like basic.
Maybe just like a billowy cloak kind of a thing.
Yeah, like a billowy cloak, but very kind of flowy.
Okay.
Kind of chill.
And Master Featherface?
I am a duck who has seen many a year. And I'm also quite short and round, with a ring of featherlack on my top.
Featherlack?
I have a bald spot.
You waddle not because you're a duck, but because you're a big duck.
Friar duck.
Yeah, I'm
Oh my god.
I'm a duck of many eats. I tend to what most people call Winnie the Pooh it.
I was just about to ask. Are you wearing the traditional duck garb?
Duck garb.
Actual coat,
Yep.
no pants.
Yep. It is tradition. No monocle though. I debated. It's not happening.
I've already got enough shit on my
Yep.
face.
Yep.
I don't need to source that. Next round of questions then. This is the one for yourself. So feel free to, if you want to frame it as like a flashback as you're doing something or whatever.
I've been everywhere, been through many adventure, but I wish that my grandpa, William Featherface III, wasn't such an asshole and would understand what I've accomplished with my life. That guy hasn't shown me no respect, and he just needs to know the skill I got at bartering. I know he was a warrior, and he did his own thing. But merchant, man, pen mightier than sword.
What about your dad? The fourth.
Oh, he was a pushover. He was fine.
Because did he follow in the warrior steps, or was he the first merchant?
Half in, half out. He couldn't make it as a warrior.
He was a quartermaster.
He was trying. Sure, he was a full. That's why I'm a full master.
No, I actually like that he joined up with a mercenary company, was terrible at the sword stuff, but they needed somebody who could who could fill out the ledger, and he was that guy.
Make sure they always had their arrows. And
Right.
He was great at attack, but not defense. Couldn't duck.
No. There's like two of these here. I can't even. Hey!
Oh my god. All right.
That was great. I love
Make a
it.
lizard joke.
So Bug sits down at the fire, And she kind of fluffs out. She wears very brightly colored clothing, but it's not really in humanoid shapes, and it's really strange. And you're like, where the fuck did you find anything like this? Too many colors. Too many colors.
Good thing to blend in with your thievery.
Yeah. So she fluffs it out and she sits down on a log and she goes, y'all ever been on the moors after a good flood that comes middle of the night?
Yeah.
I enjoy a good float.
And you sit on the edge. First fingers of dawn are coming down into the sky. And as the flood starts coming in, you know what comes out of the moors? Is all them little bugs. And best meal I ever had. I stayed up way too late. I had saved, the entire moors the day before from some shenanigans. That's another story for another time. However, all them bugs came out, and we just feasted. There was 5 or 6 of us, and that's the best meal I ever had. I tell you what. Great Granny ate more bugs than anybody that day. More bugs than anybody has any right to, Great Granny.
Ooh, she was about as wide as a trailer. I tell you what. What are you eating tonight that compares and contrasts to your meal?
So I think she had a little bit of a harder time finding the types of bugs that she likes because the kind of more forested area that we're in
this
now.
This is the like a mountain pass.
Yeah, so she's gaining a taste for the local fauna, or trying to, but it'll never compare to the moors.
Is that what Bug thinks about when she tries to think about places that she could settle down?
Oh yeah,
How good the food is around there?
it's always about the food.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Drakar Pass is not really known for its vast and tasty bug.
And that's a problem for me. You see.
Do you have? See, now I'm picturing like maybe you have like a tiny like a jar of like the good stuff.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
it's all
Just to like
bugs.
to sprinkle the bad bugs with. It's like it's my little Old Bay, Old Moors.
Old more.
Got a little Laura's on you.
A little bit of swamp spice.
A little bit of swamp spice. You never know when you're going to need that swamp spice.
Becca's thinking about that, and the Moors reminded her of some of the jobs that she's gone out on to clear out monsters and do different types of things. But like the bugs remind her of like things being dirty. Like she won't ever tell Bug that, but she's like, ugh, it reminds me of that. She's like, I heard somebody say, and it probably wasn't true, but if you get like and tame a giant amoeba, like that could be a really quick, easy way to like clean like your house without having to like hire a housekeeper or something like that. You just put your stuff up, and I'm gone so long, and like that would just be a really good thing to try and keep as a pet for a little bit.
Now, what if it ate you?
Well, the point is like I mostly won't be there.
But like, sometimes you are.
Yeah.
And then you'd get ate by your house cleaner.
How long until your stuff becomes so clean it disappears?
See, that's what I think would actually be the problem. Because if I'm out like long like this for like, getting you
That
the outskirt and looking
whole damn
for
house is dissolved.
healthier, yeah, then
Ain't nobody's fault but your own, then.
but it would be so clean at least. Whenever I get back, there's always something.
Is bringing back a creature a sign of skill as a knight? Like anybody can kill a monster, but to bring one back and like basically show off at your house or your tree or whatever, wherever it is you leave, is that a like, oh, you are a knight of distinction?
I feel like it's actually more along the lines of because in any like town or city, if they have like enough people there to their needing to be night stationed or something like that, there's usually also like a school or like a magic institute for people to learn, and it's almost like you would bring it to the school as more of something like that, and that's how kind of knights get a chance to show off.
Oh,
But-
it's more like an endowment.
Yes.
Like,
Where you get like they are like, oh, thank goodness, Knight Evergreen was able to find this chimera.
The last
and
rhino.
Now we can, now we can finally like study this and see like what drives it and what it eats, so we're better prepared if we see one again. Because that's like something that you can do, and people are prepared to accept it there, and you just don't have a chimera in the front of your yard. And I imagine if Becca actually ever tried to bring a giant amoeba back, they wouldn't be too pleased if they just let it roam in her house versus bringing it somewhere to be studied or checked over. And
What if you had a giant amoeba timeshare? Like, you get with a group of people, it travels around weekly to different people's houses.
you bring it
Takes
into
care of
like,
all of the small, small
dirty
So now,
stuff.
what's the amoeba get out of this?
it's like
It
renting
eats.
goats.
Yeah.
It could be like renting goats to clear out like brush in your yard.
and thus, Featherface, I've got a great new business idea. I'm calling it Umoeba.
No. We amoeba.
Oh.
Write it down. Write it down.
That's what happens when you have a bard. They're excellent at marketing.
Oh, yeah, he's writing it down.
All right.
I'll give you that idea for free, William.
Yeah.
Willie.
Actually, William was my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-grandfather. Please call me Bill.
Right. Sorry, Bill. I forgot.
As everybody's kind of like talking around, I think Titania starts gathering up different materials and making her little bed like underneath the tree because she won't sleep in a tent. Doesn't matter. So she just kind of gathers up all the materials, and she just she sees a certain leaf, or it's the way the quartz kind of shines off of the moonlight that hits it. And she just suddenly thinks of the wolfkin who taught her how to use her magic, and the day that she had to leave. And she remembers that tearful goodbye, because she was an adult technically, but she was still young. And it was so scary to go off into the world because all she knew was her homeland. And all she knew was the wolfkin. But she went out, and her master, her teacher, her mentor, her uncle said, "You need to go, Titania. You need to go." And she just started crying. Not sobbing, but just tears coming down her eyes. And he just reacted by wiping her tears. He said, "Come on, little pup. Get going." He turned me around and patted me on the butt a little bit to get me going. And I walked away and just cried a little bit for the first 10-15 minutes. And then started seeing landscape that I didn't recognize. The wonders of the world started coming to her sight.
Speaking of things that you don't recognize, as you are likely the farthest from the central fire and wagon, you see on the edge of the firelight a shape. A person. You see that they're crawling as they pull themselves into the light. They're wearing sweat-stained robes that have been muddied by what it seems like dragging themselves on the dirt path that makes up the pass.
Are we talking like army crawling, or like
army, like they are dragging themselves?
okay, like their legs don't work type thing?
Likely because one of them has a wicked-looking black barbed arrow sticking out of the thigh. And that is where we end our first episode of our Dragonbane run. Please join us next week to see what happens as we play through The Secret of the Dragon Emperor, the official campaign included in the Dragonbane box set. So, from all of us here at Theater of the Mind Players, this is Rob Whelan saying, just repeat to yourself, it's only a game. I should really just relax. Congratulations, fellow human! You've reached the end of an exciting episode of Theater of the Mind Players. If you enjoyed our story, please like the video. If you want more games, subscribe to our channel. Attack the bell for notifications on new posts. If you liked the episode, please tell us what you enjoyed the most in the comments. If you loved the episode, consider joining our Patreon. You'll get access to special shows, session zeros, and help us determine what we play on the show. We love our friends of Pat Rayon, and we hope to see you there.